Hey there, Caroline here with another video book review. Just a reminder, this is not a critique of an author or an in-depth review, but just to give you an overview of some books that we've been reading, tell you a little bit about the book, who would find it impactful, and give you an idea of whether or not you'd like to read it. So today, I'm going to talk about There Is Always Enough by Roland and Heidi Baker. Roland and Heidi Baker are missionaries in Mozambique and southeastern Africa. This book is written by both of them, and it's really cool how they each write a chapter trading off, so you get to hear things from each of their perspectives. It flows together really, really well. So they talk about their call into missions, how they came together. They actually spent their honeymoon on a missions trip. They got married and decided to just go. So that's really cool and really encouraging. This book, I would say, is great for anyone in missions work or anyone considering missions work, simply because it is written by missionaries and gives real accounts of things that have happened. It goes raw and real, and they talk about ways that they've lost things, hard things have happened, they've gotten sick, all the things that maybe we romanticize missions at times and think, oh, it's great to go out and share the gospel and travel, and that's wonderful, and it is. It is so wonderful, but there are also other things to think about and just be ready for, things that maybe you wouldn't anticipate. So this goes really real and raw, but the premise really being called There Is Always Enough, it really talks about God's provision along the way and how God told them there would be enough, and there always is. So there is story after story that gives so much hope and encouragement of how God will provide. They talk about villages being almost completely underwater because of flooding, but how God moves, how he provided food from out of nowhere when they were out of food, how people show up to help even when you think that there is no hope, and it just comes, and the Lord brings it. And then also, this really talks a lot about children encountering God too, and just seeing how he moves through them, and seeing how these people that Roland and Heidi work with are so desperate for God, and how they are so relieved to have the food and shelter that they need, but what they want even more than that is a touch from God, and want to be in his presence and worship him. So seeing the fervor of that detailed in this book really opened my eyes to really the desperation that I want to personally have, and that I have begun to see in other parts of the world. It's also given me a lot of encouragement on God's provision too. So knowing the hard stories, I used to be one to romanticize missions, but I've been out in Africa and I have lived with less. I have seen some of the harder things happen, with a lot of our team getting sick. So this was nice to read alongside being there and give me some just excitement for what God will do and what he can do. So I'd recommend it if you're going into missions, if you are in missions, or if you're just looking for a story of hope and want to see what kind of things God can do. Read this book and you will find out. Hope you like it. Talk to you soon.